We got some backstage report details on new titles coming to WWE. Reports are saying that there are plans to bring a women's United States title and women's Intercontinental title to SmackDown and Raw. Flobo, you cover NXT on Draped in Gold every single week, and they recently have added a North American Championship to the women's division. Based on what you've seen there and based on what you've seen, obviously, on the main roster, what are your thoughts on the idea of bringing in new championships to WWE?
Yeah, I do a Draped in Gold with you, Jack. Why are you acting like I was by myself reviewing this show?
It sounds bigger if I'm introducing
How's it going? How's it going? Yes, as a correspondent who works with Jack. So I love the idea. I do think that there's enough people on the roster to support a second division. But I will be honest with you, and I think we talked about this on Draped in Gold when the women's North American title was invented, debuted. The majority of the roster were in the hunt for that championship, and the NXT championship was kind of neglected. In fact, that's when Jordynne Grace had the number one contendership, which was great to see. We love to see that, but it didn't feel like there was nobody around to take on Roxanne Perez. So that's ultimately my big concern. And I say this about AEW when the TBS title was debuted. I'm not against having a second division, but you have to tell me why. The IC title has been the workhorse title. The US title had all the legacy. The men's North American title was more like the character title, the stepping stone title. If you can tell me why, as a competitor, if I was on the women's division, why I would go for the women's IC versus the women's world, or whatever brand they lay on, then we're fine. If it becomes a muddled mess, like the women's tag division, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I think Flobo hit a lot of nails on a lot of heads just now, Jimmy, with was that a Batista celebration or yeah, he's doing hammers.
I'm walking we have my own hype, have my own pyro back there.
If you're on the audio only version, you're missing some stuff here.
Yeah, no kidding.
But so yeah, Jimmy, I've always said I don't care how many titles there are or are not. I just don't want to see everything being a title feud. If that's all we got, then we have too many titles. And I also don't want things to get forgotten or taken off of TV. And so do they have the talent to do mid-level or mid-card titles as they're called, or secondary titles, however you want to phrase it? Absolutely. But I also look at the tag team championships that have been floundering for years now, and they can't seem to get a roster around that. And I worry that maybe we might be getting to a point where if I click on champions on the website, that page is getting a little dense.
No, well, Flobo, I think, hit the nail on the head. There is a lot of championships, and you don't want to forget about the major titles that the women's have on each brand. And that's the risk you're running if you're going to add these championships to each roster and to the individual brands. You know, they do have the talent, like you said, Jack. They do have the talent to facilitate this, but then you have to find room for everybody, and somebody's going to have to, as they say, take a back seat and wait in the locker room and wait till your number comes up, and it's going to really, really cause a traffic jam as far as TV time goes, for lack of a better term. So you have to be careful with that. Like you said, I like the idea of it. It's just implementing it without other stories and other titles suffering in the process.
Yeah, because of course, if you're doing this, then just doing the math, if you've got the men's world championship, the women's world championship, the men's United States championship, the women's United States championship, and then let's say one of the tag team championships, because both of them, actually, no, the men's is just on one now. So you got the men's, that's 5, not counting the women's. So if you got to tell a story with each of those, plus an understory to find a number one contender or something along those lines, that's 10 things going on each episode.
Plus other stories for other talents that's not about any championships.
Right. That's
adding even more confusion.
That becomes a very tough situation. I mean, I'm at a point right now where I just don't doubt what WWE is going to do, because they've kind of, every time I doubt them, they're like, well, actually, and I'm like, oh, you were right. Okay. Well, never mind.
Take that, Jack.
Yeah. Sure showed me.
Yeah, Triple H, I take your success personally. It's an attack against me.
Just don't tweet about it at 4 a.m.
Yes. Dylan says convoluted is the word you're looking for, Jim.
Thank you, Dylan. Yes, that's the one I was looking for.
So yeah, let us
checks
know
in the mail.
Let us know what your let's know what your thoughts are in the chat. If you like the idea of adding another championship, or if you think that would make it too convoluted, or if you think they need to reshuffle those in some way.